All right, welcome in, 8th grade learners. I am literally so excited to have you here today. So I want you to take just a quick second and think about something for me. Think beyond the weather right outside your window. Whether it's raining, snowing, or bright and sunny where you're sitting right now. Well, that's really just a tiny microscopic piece of a much, much larger and honestly incredibly fascinating puzzle. In today's explainer, we're going to zoom way out. We're looking at the absolute master design of our planet. We'll be exploring the powerful forces that shape our world and, well, more importantly, we'll be discovering our own unique role within it. So let's jump right in.
Okay, so here's our roadmap for today. First up, we'll look at weather versus climate. Then we'll unpack the factors that influence climate, explore God's pattern of provision, discuss the call to stewardship, and finally wrap up with education tied to morality.
So let's kick things off with Section 1, Weather versus Climate. You see, weather is really just your daily snapshot. It's exactly what you see today when you walk outside. Maybe it's a sunny afternoon, a rainy morning, or, a cloudy evening. It's constantly changing. Climate, on the other hand, that is the big picture. It's the long-term pattern of temperature and precipitation in a specific region over many, many years. Think of it like this. If weather dictates exactly what you're going to wear today, well, climate dictates what kinds of clothes you actually keep in your closet all year round. And man, we can see some vastly different long-term patterns across our planet. Just look at the Sahara Desert. You've got this famously hot, incredibly dry climate. Now, contrast that right next to the Amazon rainforest, which is totally characterized by a humid, tropical climate. Now remember, these aren't just occasional weather events, right? These are deeply entrenched environmental realities that totally determine what plants can grow there, what animals can even survive, and really how people live in those regions.
All right, moving right along to Section 2, Factors that Influence Climate.
Okay, so there are 4 incredibly organized natural factors that literally control the climate anywhere on Earth. First up, we have latitude. That's just your distance from the equator. Simply put, the closer you are to it, the warmer it gets. Second is elevation, meaning your height above sea level. Basically, the higher you go up a mountain, the colder the air becomes. Makes sense, right? Third, we have ocean currents. These are massive movements of water that can either warm up or cool down coastal areas. And finally, number 4, wind patterns. These are the guys responsible for moving vast air masses and all that crucial moisture right across the continents.
Let me actually give you a real-world example just to prove how these factors totally interact with each other. Take a look at Denver and San Francisco. Both of these beautiful American cities sit roughly on the exact same latitude line, so you'd think they should have the exact same climate, right? Well, actually, no way. Denver is located at a much higher elevation. They call it the mile-high city for a reason, so its climate is significantly colder. Meanwhile, San Francisco sits right there on the coast, where those ocean currents really moderate the temperature and keep things much warmer. So as you can see, elevation and ocean currents can drastically alter the climate, absolutely regardless of latitude.
But when we do look purely at latitude, well, the effects are absolutely undeniable. Take a country like Brazil, for instance, located right near the equator. They experience these intense direct rays from the sun all year round. Because of this direct hit, their climate is naturally and super consistently much warmer. It's really just a fantastic showcase of our very first climate factor in action.
Let's transition into Section 3, God's pattern of provision.
I'd love to read this scripture together with you. It says, "As long as the earth endures, seed time and harvest, cold and heat, summer and winter, day and night will never cease." That's Genesis 8:22. And wow, this is just so powerful, because it really reminds us that climate isn't just some random science. It's actually God's deliberate provision. Even though climates might shift and change over long periods of time, these systems were intentionally set in place to, sustain ecosystems, provide growing seasons, and just fully support life until His purpose is complete. God truly remains fully in control of those amazing patterns we just studied.
And that actually leads us directly to a very personal question. Something I want you to really ask yourself right now. What is one way Christians can care for creation? Right here, we're kind of pivoting our explainer away from just simple head knowledge about weather patterns and moving straight into heart knowledge and personal responsibility. If God made this incredible system, well, what is our role in it?
That brings us to Section 4, the call to stewardship.
So what does this all mean? Well, stewardship basically means observing the amazing patterns God set in place, just like those climate factors we literally just learned about, and then making wise, godly decisions about exactly how we use those resources. Genesis 1:28 actually tells us that we've been given stewardship over the earth. We are called to be stewards, caretakers, and protectors,
not destroyers. Really understanding the science on a practical level absolutely requires us to step up and act responsibly.
And listen, stewardship isn't just some big abstract idea. It is entirely built on simple, everyday, daily choices. Here are some highly practical actions you can take. Think of this as your homework for life. It can be as simple as conserving water when you brush your teeth. Maybe try walking instead of driving over to a friend's house, committing to actually recycling, or even getting your hands dirty and planting some trees. Every single one of these small actions matters, and every wise decision you make truly honors the earth that God made for us.
Finally, let's wrap up with Section 5, Education Tied to Morality.
I'll be honest, this right here is probably the most important lesson of the day. Education without morality will hurt. Seriously, think about it for a second. What is the absolute point of being highly smart, completely understanding elevation, latitude, and ocean currents, and being supposedly educated if we just continue to make bad, selfish choices that hurt our world? If we have all the scientific head knowledge in the world, but we completely lack the moral compass to be good stewards, well then our education is actually kind of dangerous. True education and biblical morality absolutely must be tightly intertwined.
But here's the good news. When we do intertwine them, there is a truly beautiful result. Romans 8:6-7 promises peace of mind to everyone who keeps their mind spiritual. And this is exactly what we experience when we engage with our learning through a godly lens. You see, when you combine your rigorous scientific education with a deeply spiritual, moral mindset, you don't just get smart. No, you gain true peace of mind, totally knowing that you are aligning with a much higher purpose.
So I'm going to leave you with this final, slightly challenging thought. I want you to look at the patterns of provision all around you. Look at the climate. Look at your own daily habits. Are you using your education to be a wise, moral steward of your world? I really want you to take what you've learned today, maybe step away from your screen for a bit, and go honor creation with the choices you make every single day. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and I will see you guys next time.